Hi guys and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be analyzing 4 stocks, JD.com, Slack, Nvidia and IBM. We will try to understand where the stocks might move into the future, and we will try to understand if some of them have hit historical highs from where we should be expecting the stocks retracing. Please subscribe to our channel if you want us to keep releasing technical analysis and price predictions for free. Also like our videos and leave a comment. Let's start our analysis with JD.com. As you can see here, at the end of 2018, JD.com rebounded by the horizontal support around $20, hitting a high around $87. So what we know in terms of price prediction is that once breaking above a horizontal resistance, like in this case, we should be adding the difference between these areas of $50 and the horizontal support around $20, which give us a $30 of difference. So if we now add 50 to 30, we arrive to $80. And actually from here, from 87, we see that JD.com has been retracing a little bit. So what we should be expecting over the next months? This one is a weekly chart, which means every candle is a weekly one, and actually this will give us an idea about what we should be expecting over the next months. So what we see here, which is extremely important, is that we have experienced a strong break above the $66 with the long white candle breaking above the upper band. Now, while for the short term this movement actually could continue to go up, for the medium and long term, actually this situation is a great area for us to trigger a short. Now, if we analyze how the two bands, which are the two triangular moving average bands, worked in the past, we can definitely say that once we experience, the one actually period of candles, hitting the upper and the lower band, then we've experienced the counter trend movement, actually a retrace. In this case, for example, once we have seen the price hitting the upper band, then and that was in July 17, we should have actually given the chance, the opportunity to trigger a short. And actually what happened in a year later is that the price tumbled till $20. So from 50 till $20. So what is happening right now? We see a series of candle breaking above the upper band. So again, for the short term, for the next weeks, we can even see JD.com going up. Yet every movement up for us is a great opportunity to trigger a short for a medium long term trend for JD. What we should be expecting right now is that actually for 2021 and 2022, JD.com should actually going back to hit the lower band, which is right now passing by around $45, which means actually a 40% of retrace expected over 2021 and 2022. Again, for the short-term trend, this long white candle breaking above the upper band is a good opportunity to follow the trend. Yet in terms of risk-reward ratio right now is quite dangerous to open to trigger a long. So if you have a long right now, so if you own JD.com, this might be a great opportunity for you to take profit in total or partially of your position. What we see here in terms of CCI, which is a CCI at 60 period, which is a different one. As you know, I use a 66 period because I want to get rid of the short-term noise, and I want to analyze the medium and long-term trend. Then that's why I use the 60 period. Actually, it's telling us that we are still in the overbought area, but as I've been explaining several times in my best-selling book, Forex the Holy Grail, if the chart, if the asset moves in a trend, which can be uptrend or downtrend, a CCI in the overbought area actually is a positive signal and it's not a negative one. Yet the situation, the scenario in this case is different because we have seen that the price has broken above the upper band. Again, for the long-term trend, I do believe JD.com is going to retrace at least till 50 or 45 US dollars. So let's see in 2021 and 2022 what is going to happen. Now let's move on and let's analyze Slack Technologies. Here we have a daily chart. Actually, Slack is a very as a weaker chart if compared with JD.com, as a relative strength lower than JD.com. Now let's move on and let's switch to the weekly chart in order to have a better idea of what we should be expecting over the next weeks and months. As you can see here, the chart is not the most fabulous one. Let's zoom in a little bit. What we see here is that every time we have experienced a long black candle, we have an increase in terms of volumes, which actually comes with the estimated EPS, okay, earning per share. So what we might forecast for Slack Technologies. Here we have actually a very strong area around 35 US dollar, between 30 and 35 US dollar, with a series of candle passing by. So actually we could definitely trigger a nice shorts with actually at 35 US dollar with a stop loss which needs to be quite quite above the 35 US dollar and possibly even above this long black candle. Right now the chart is not fantastic. Actually Slack is moving in a range between 40 US dollar and 20 US dollar, which means in terms of mere technical analysis we could trigger a buy around 20 US dollar and short between 30 and 40 US dollar. Also, what we see here is that 20 US dollar seems to be a very strong support area, because here what we see is a fake breakout with a long black candle with the bearish forces trying to push the price lower, but then a long white candle with a new bullish force coming in place have rejected the bearish force and we have experienced a strong uptrend. So again, Slack Technology seems to be a stock which we should be trading in counter trend. So we should be shorting the stock once approaching the horizontal resistance historical area, and conversely we should be buying once approaching the horizontal support around 20 US dollar. Obviously, let's always, and I repeat, always try to before trigger any kind of trade, let's try to find any kind of pattern, like for example reversal pinball, like in this case, or in this case this was a reversal pinball with an increase in volumes, so a spike in volumes, okay, which give us a confidence about our short, okay, or some dark cloud cover, or one very long black candle for shorting, or long white candle with an increase in volumes, okay. So Slack counter trend movement. So JD could actually, JD.com can still go up for the short term. Definitely medium and long term we're going down. This is my forecast, of course, and of course I can be wrong. Slack we should be trading in a counter trend movement, so around between 35 and 40 US dollar we can definitely trigger a short. Let's be careful above 40 US dollar. If Slack will be able to break above the 40 US dollar, we have to cover our position with a stop loss. Let's move on, let's analyze Nvidia. Nvidia actually is the strongest chart if compared with the previous two ones, okay. And what we see here, same situation, a series of candles breaking above the upper band. So we are exactly in that 5% of movement, okay, which actually is telling us that we are in an extreme situation. But differently from JD.com, Nvidia seems to be very strong right now, so it's quite risky, could be quite risky to trigger a short. What we could suggest, or what we could be doing, is triggering a short below this area, okay, so below definitely 450 US dollar, 450 US dollar, we can definitely trigger a short with a very realistic target around $300 from where we see the lower band passing by, and the previous horizontal resistance, which is right now a horizontal support. But what we need to see before is actually the 𝗳𝗂𝗃𝗃 breaking below the upper threshold. Okay, so right now the 𝗀𝗃𝗃 is still moving in overbought area, which is a positive signal. So right now there are no realistic reasons why we should be shorting Nvidia. Actually, this stock seems to be a good one in terms of technical analysis. So every retrace could be a great opportunity to trigger a long. Now, if we compare, then if we switch to the fundamental analysis, of course everything changes, because the quotation of the American stocks are definitely unrealistic, and we're going to actually in 2021, 2022 we will see this huge bubble popping off, and actually it's always difficult to time the market, definitely. Yet right now we are absolutely in an extreme overbought scenario. And let's say the truth, okay, in terms of price against earnings, we are definitely flying with our fantasy. What we see in the American market right now is totally unrealistic, and sooner or later we will see a drastic tumbling down for the American market. Let's now move on and let's analyze IBM on a weekly chart. What we see here, actually IBM is moving inside the horizontal rectangle between 110 US dollar. Here we've experienced a fake breakout with the price hitting the lower band, which was a fantastic opportunity to trigger along, because as you can see here, once the price hit the lower band, we experience a counter trend movement. So next target 150, yet right now IBM is moving between 110 and 164 US dollar. So it's moving horizontally. So here we can say the same that we have actually said for SLAC. We should be trading IBM in a counter trend way, which means every time we see IBM hitting the upper band and actually trying to work the horizontal resistance around 160 US dollar, then we can try, if we see some interesting bearish pattern, to actually sell short the stock IBM, while in this case at 1 US dollar we should be ready to trigger some nice counter trend movement, which means buying IBM if we see an increase in terms of volumes, like in this case. As you can see here the price hit the lower band. We have experienced a huge increase in terms of volumes, and what we have experienced a strong movement up. Again, as a very oftentimes say, let's not be confused by the color of the volumes, because the color of the volumes comes because of this candle with the close, which was almost really the low of the candle. Yet when this happens, normally we see a counter trend movement. Thank you guys.